Well, today we're talking, of course, matters electricity and, of course, some of the challenges Kenyans have been facing in regards to that. And to get the views of Kenyans in different counties, we begin by talking to our Martin Munene, who is in Nyeri County, to tell us a little bit about what small-scale traders, small-scale businessmen are facing in terms of challenges with their power supply. Martin, what can you tell us from Nyeri County?
A very good morning to you, Wahiga Maura, and like you rightly put it, we're coming to you live from Nyeri County. I am at a barber shop in Nyeri Town, and of course, a barber shop depends on electricity every single day for them to be able to operate daily. And so, with what has been going on with the Kenya Power, we want to understand what is the feel of business, the business community, especially small traders in this particular region, especially when it comes to the amount of money people are being charged for the electricity bill. I'll be talking to one person who owns a barber shop and a barber, so that he can help us understand and get a feel really of the people on the ground and how this billing is affecting them. A very good morning to you, sir. Kindly, you'll introduce yourself and tell us where we are, and tell us what is happening with the electricity bill. Have you seen changes in the electricity bill from previously and now?
I'm Anthony Kimaro, and I'm a barber in Nyeri Town. I've been worried so much about this fluctuation of bills. For instance, I'm used to pay 2,500. Then all of a sudden, I just found out it was 5,000. Now we are very much worried because huwezi ongeza bei ya customers. Clients, once you tell them that the bill is up, it is up to you to know how to be either you incur loss on your business, but you are very much worried.
Nalabda, what are you people doing now so that you are able to manage what is happening with the bills? You're saying you've actually experienced it on a personal level.
Yeah, I've experienced it on a personal level, and we are very much bitter. And I think this Kenya Power should have a competitor, because once you, like in business, you can't have two businesses at the same street. And once you think that you ask your clients more, they'll find another option, the other business. So the Kenya Power, I think, they must have a competitor, because we are very bitter as businessmen. Because, for instance, we always budget, like December, I was planning on January be paying maybe 3,000. All of a sudden, when I just went to check my bill, it was 6,000. Now, surely, where will those other money come from? Yeah.
All right. Wahiga, like you can hear this particular gentleman say he's actually experiencing double the bill of what he was previously paying, and he's saying that he does not know where he can be able to get the extra money. And let me just talk to one of the customers that he's attending to, and just to get a feel, if they change, for example, the price of a haircut, will the customers still come, and are customers feeling the pinch as well from their side? Labda tu kwa kifupi, you tell us utuambie unaitwa nani, na labda utueleze wewe kama mtu binafsi umeona hizi bills za stima zikibadilika, and labda ukakuja kwa kinyozi uambiwe labda utanyolewa na pesa zaidi ya kawaida, utahisi vipi? Utakubaliana nao kwa sababu stima imeongezeka, ama kutakaa namna gani?
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Charles Kariuki. Mimi ni kitu ningeendelea kusema ni ya kwamba pesa zikiongezeka, sasa kama mimi nakunjanga hii kinyozi, nitaanza sasa kutafuta namna ya kwenda place ingine, juu sasa nimezoea sasa kunyolewa na hizo pesa. So nikakuta sasa zimeongezeka, ni kutafuta namna ingine mahali pengine, juu sasa kulingana na venye uchumi iko, sasa mtu anajaribu kwenda pahali anasikia kopoa na ananyolewa vizuri. Kama hapa unakuta pana usafi, pako pahali pazuri sana. Lakini sasa ukakuta sasa nimeongezewa pesa zimezidi kuongezeka, utaanza kutafuta namna ingine sasa. Yeah.
Asante. Wahiga, that is the situation in Nyeri County. Farmers are feeling the pinch of rising prices of power, and they're saying that they don't know what to do because, like you've heard, from a customer's perspective, they're not ready to pay extra for services that they get from, for example, a barber shop that depends on electricity for them to be able to operate. Back to you in studio, Wahiga.
Well, thank you so much for that update, Martin Munene, just letting us know what the views are of residents of Nyeri County. From Nyeri, we cross over now to Kwale County, where Nikki Gitonga wants to talk to a hotel owner, hotel manager, to find out what sort of challenges they're experiencing in regards to the electricity supply in that part of the country. Nikki, what can you tell us?
Thank you very much, Wahiga Maura. We are getting you live from Asins Holiday Inn Hotel in Diani, Kwale County. It's one of the hotels in Diani, the beach hotels in Diani. We're going to speak with assistant manager for the hotel, and he's going to tell us the challenges that are facing as a hotel concerning the skyrocketing electricity bills since the month of December. Kindly, Mr. Patrick, maybe you can just come forward here. Tell us, what are the challenges that you are facing, especially during the month of December when the bills were too high?
Yeah, thank you very much, brother, for this opportunity that you have given me. The problem that we have been facing in our hotel, in fact, it's a big problem. Last month we used to pay, for example, 19,000 shillings, and when we got the bills of December, we paid 34,000 shillings, so it doubled. So you find out that the bills were doubled, and this is the problem that we had in our hotel, and you see this is a big loss in our hotel. Yeah.
So, in terms of, okay, yeah, the bills were high. Did it affect your business in any way or the other?
It affected us because, you see, when we spend more money in paying the bills, you know, then the other operations will have to be stagnated. So that's the reason why I am telling you that we got losses, because instead of using the money to pay for other services, we had to pay for the bills.
On 9th of January, like 2 days ago, we had a power outage across the country. Did it affect you in one way or the other?
Yes, of course we were affected in one way. In fact, you see, although we have a generator, so the problem that we had to spend more money in buying the diesel for the hotel to run, because our guests cannot sleep without AC. So we had to buy diesel. We had to spend more to buy diesel so that our guests may enjoy sleeping in cool rooms.
So maybe as a hotelier, what's the way forward? What's the way going forward? What do you want the government to do to ensure the hoteliers and you're not counting losses?
So what we can just ask the government is just to intervene to see whether they can rectify this problem, because you see, if we continue having the problem of electricity, our hoteliers we shall be facing a lot of problems, because we shall be spending a lot of money on electricity bills, and we have other operations that we have to spend on money. We have to pay salaries, we have to pay for water, we have to pay for everything. You see, we are spending more money on electricity, which is not good for us as hoteliers.
Okay. As much as we had the power outage across the country, but in Kwale County so far we've been having such a problem now and then. Has it affected you more, and maybe what's your urge to the Kenya Power and Lighting Company, especially Kwale branch?
I would like to urge the Kwale branch, especially those who are concerned with emergencies. You see, sometimes, you see, when we have an emergency, when we call them, sometimes they don't respond immediately. They say that their emergency car has gone to another place, you see. So they take time to respond to the problems. So what I can just urge the government is just to intervene and see where is the problem, so that if they rectify the problem, they'll be saving us as hoteliers. Because you see, the guests, as I told you before, the guests cannot stay in a hotel where there's no power or where there's no electricity. So if there is any emergency or any breakdown, let them come immediately and solve the problem, and by doing so, they'll be saving us from losses as hoteliers.
Okay, thank you. That's an opinion from Patrick Abisai, Assistant Manager for Asins Holiday Inn. That's all we have from here, Waiga, for now, but we'll be back.
Thank you very much.
Nikki Gitonga there reporting just next to a hotel there in Kwale County. Of course, the concerns that they are facing, being able to provide good services to all the visitors to their hotel, while at the same time handling their electricity costs. Now, we value your feedback on this program. I'm trying to look at some of your SMSs now. 22422 is our SMS line, on our social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter at Citizen TV Kenya, and I'll try and read a bit of that. Of course, the hashtag being Citizen Extra. Now, joining me in studio, and I'll be coming to him shortly because he says before the end of the day he will have carried on with what he promised. That, and I'm talking about Apollo Mboya, an advocate and former LSK CEO. He says that he is going to take the matter of electricity, inflated power bills to court, and he wants to do that today, and he'll be telling us a bit about that in better details shortly. But before that, earlier today, Ken Tarus, the CEO of Kenya Power, was in this studio, and he talked a little bit about the reason for high bills over the last couple of months. And he was speaking to Charles Odhiambo on the Power Breakfast Show. Let's listen to what he had to say.
In the last 3 months, we had a system upgrade as Kenya Power, and what that meant was we carried out estimates in the bills that we read. And just to set the record straight again, out of the 6.5 million customers that are within our network, 2.4 million are postpaid, and the rest are 2.4 are postpaid. We have about 7,800 who are on 7,800 who are on smart meters. And the rest are on prepaid.
Smart meters meaning?
Smart meters are meters that are able to communicate with our systems within the office. These are the meters that we read, connect and disconnect from the comfort of our office.
The office.
Yes. And of course the prepaid components are the ones that customers load tokens into so that they get their consumption. And if you look at what we are trying to do as an institution now, in areas where it is outside our operations, we are trying as much as possible to fit those customers with prepaid meters. That assures us, it helps us manage our operations. Now, the remaining 2.4 million postpaid customers is what we get out on a daily basis to read. And like I said, in situations where we, in the last 3 months, we were carrying a system upgrade, we were not able to read some of these meters, and therefore we ended up doing estimations in their readings. Of course, when this was eventually done, then there was that element of now balancing of whatever was estimated against the actual reading. And to be honest, Odhiambo, this affected about 800 customers, 800, 900 customers.
In the whole country? In
the whole country. And when you look at the statistics, we have some which we overestimated and we have others which we underestimated. Of course, I'm appealing to all customers that those of us who have challenges, please come on board, come to our banking halls, let's engage with our customer relations officers so that we clean some of those challenges.
Those who have
Apollo, you are smiling even as you listen to what the CEO had to say an hour or so ago, seated on that same place, seat that you're seated on now.
Yes.
Last time when we called you to invite you for the show, you told us that you're in the middle of coming up with some legal documentation. I can give you a chance to tell us a bit about that, but I also know you've received some correspondence from Kenya Power today.
Yes.
Just walk us through that, Tafadhali.
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, I was smiling because the MD is actually lying what he's saying about overestimation and underestimation. But let's start with the letter.
He's not here to counter you, but nevertheless, go on.
Yes. Now, yesterday at around 10 p.m.,
okay,
I was still in the office working on the documentation. Then I got an email, and the email was forwarding the letter from the MD. And in that letter, paragraph 3.
Okay, hang on. I think we have some of those graphics. Can we play them now just so that our viewers can see the correspondence you received from Kenya Power? You said you received this from the company secretary.
Company secretary.
Okay.
Yes, who sent it by email.
Okay, continue reading. We'll be displaying them shortly.
Yeah, and paragraph 3 of that letter Kenya Power and Lighting is saying that in November 2017, it migrated into a new customer management system, and that this system is the one that brought errors in the conversion when they were migrating to this new system, and they have actually admitted in that letter that some bills have been sent out which do not reflect the amount due and were in excess, and that
okay, you're talking about point 3.2, which
yes.
is the next one. Okay, that will be coming up. We just want to be clear that you're reading exactly what they sent to you.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
So I'm just summarizing that, and that now they are going to embark on a campaign to sensitize the public, and that they have put help desks throughout the country. That's what 3.3 says. Help desks throughout the country in their offices, so that they can, and also provided some telephone numbers so that the customers can access those help desks.
Okay.
Yes.
Clearly you don't believe that they have done that.
First of all, this letter is a very good letter, which now I'm just going to tinker with my pleadings, because they have admitted that this is what we have been saying, that they have admitted that there were errors.
Okay, with the billing system.
Yes, and the people are overcharged. So that's a very good step for me. Yes. So despite that they are denying that they are not abusing their dominance, because this letter is copied to me, but it was actually written to the Competition Authority of Kenya, that they are still denying that they have not abused their dominance and they have not abused their monopoly.
Okay.
But I wish they were here, because there are several fundamental issues. And at this point, I can actually even tell the viewers, what is it that we are taking to court? This is just one aspect of it, the issue of overcharging and misrepresenting bills. The monopoly must end. Why does the why do I say so? If you go to the Constitution and the fourth schedule, specifically paragraph 8E, it states very well that electricity and gas is a devolved function of the county. But yet, we have left Kenya Power, since the Constitution came,
at the national level.
At the national level, that if you have a problem, you have to call Kenya Power at the national level.
Instead of dealing with your county representative or link or whatever that is. Okay.
We should have Kenya Power, actually for every county, the same way we have for water. And I've seen people talking about water today. That is what should happen. We have water companies for every county. That is actually what is envisaged in the Constitution. The fourth schedule, paragraph 8E of the fourth schedule. And I invite viewers who have got the Constitution to read it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if indeed there was this inadvertent error that has been mentioned in section 3 of the letter that you got, why do you think the MD, the CS, did not confirm that there will be, refunds to all affected customers? And I did see you tweeted about this yesterday, and I saw some people messaging you and asking you, listen, we have not seen the help desks. It is so hard to get Kenya Power to help me when I walk up to their office and I'm showing them, listen, I've been charged normally 4,000 bob. Now you're charging me 200,000, 300,000. So is this something that they're rolling out now, or do you think this was something that was put out just to convince you to stop whatever you want to do?
And Wahiga, that's why I was laughing. Remember when you were smiling when you was talking about all those things. This is a PR exercise, and I think a letter that was meant to try and convince that we should hold our horses. But it's not succeeding, because as you saw, I also issued a notice of access to information, asking certain fundamental questions, which they have refused to answer, including why they did not declare a loss of 10.1 billion in their books of account, instead of saying it is a recoverable amount. Because they don't have it. What they're doing right now, and why people are complaining, the public, is because they are loading it bit by bit on the customers' bills in order to recover 10.1 billion.
Okay. Okay. I know that I'll need to release you in less than 30 minutes because you've told me that this is something that you're going to handle right now.
Yeah.
On Monday, Energy and Petroleum Cabinet Secretary Charles Keter refuted claims that Kenya Power had been backdating electricity bills leading to the current inflated charges.
Yes.
He cited technical issues in the billing system, and he said, of course, deliberate efforts to correct the prices are underway.
Yes.
Does that tally with what you've now gotten from Kenya Power yesterday?
No, I think the CS first made a very big blunder, because the CS is at the ministry. It's supposed to talk about policy issues. He digressed a bit and talked about policy issues and operational issues.
Okay,
which
maybe it was the members of the press there who pushed him to task. In his defense, it's just that he's not here, but carry on.
Yeah, but I'm saying he had KPLC officials around him.
He should have left that.
He should have left operational issues to KPLC. Him is supposed to talk about policy issues, but let me answer it this way. One of the issues that we are going to ask in this suit is for a forensic audit of the systems, financial and operations, because that one is going to bring out and even disabuse what the CS just talked about. It is only when you do a forensic audit that you can
understand
yes,
exactly what happened.
Exactly.
I also saw you, and if we can take that clip now, of course the MD was here this morning. He spoke about a couple of other issues. I want us to focus on the blackout that happened the day before yesterday at night.
Yes.
One that has happened now consecutively almost for 3 years.
Yes.
And we did
on
have
the same date.
On the same date.
Yeah.
Although I think the first one was within the same time period, but last year the same date.
Yeah.
We did do that. You know, Dennis Otieno brought that story for us. But let's listen to what the MD had to say when Charles Odhiambo this morning asked him, you know, for more details about that. Let's listen in.
Odd coincidence, because the number of the duration within which these faults appear and the timings are more or less the same. Like you rightly pointed out, it was 9th of January, you know, the other year, 9th of January the previous year, and 7th of January in this year. I want to mention here that this involved a high voltage line that runs between our Nairobi North and Dandora substations, where it gave in as a result of high voltages. Of course, like I mentioned, as Kenya Power, we have put in a team of engineers to just try and establish whether there is anything to do with perhaps weather patterns affecting our lines at that particular point in time. Because other than the previous year, when you look at these two incidences, this year and last year, the occurrence is almost at the same point. So we are just trying to establish whether there is any relationship between that occurrence and perhaps the weather, and of course, looking at the wider view, our maintenance program as it were.
Okay, shortly we'll be bringing you that story by Dennis Otieno that we'll be playing for you in just a bit. But let me get a response now from Apollo. You also went online, tweeted about this. You don't believe what they're saying. Yes. I can give you a chance just to give your thoughts now on the blackout that affected the whole country, you know, went into parts of Uganda as well, or at least it was happening at the same time.
Yes. What a coincidence. That's what the MD is talked about. And for me, it is not a coincidence. This is a pattern. Every year, January. And what we suspect, and that's why I'm talking about system audit.
But you're giving a theory right now. You don't have the facts to back it. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I want to address it. That's why I'm talking about a system audit. The audit should be financial system and operational. System audit will tell us exactly what is happening. You see, even the MD is talking about maybe it's the weather, maybe... yeah, so we should stop guessing, and I agree with you. Yeah. How do we get to the bottom of it? How can it be for 3 consecutive years, same date, except for one that happened on 7th. This one happened on 9th. But last year it happened the same date.
You're almost worried that next year, on the 9th of January, another one might happen.
Will happen. Because now there's a pattern 3 years. So, the best way to, and as a professional, we must get it to a system audit to diagnose exactly what are they doing on that date. But the most fundamental issue is this. On that issue of blackout, it confirms what I'm talking about, that this monopoly must end because it is a threat to national security. If you have...
Give us specifics.
Yeah, if you have only one distributor of power, like Kenya Power, and something happens to it the way it's been happening, then the whole country is held hostage. That's why, and that blackout is a threat to national security. That's what I'm talking about. Everything was down. Everything was down. The airport, I saw...
were affected.
Yes, I saw the airport, even international airport in Kisumu, does not have a backup power. I said, what is this? Because it was darkness. So, that is, it just still buttresses what I'm talking about. That we should never have only one supplier of electricity in the country.
Has the Competition Authority contacted you? You wrote to them?
Yes, they contacted me.
They contacted you?
Yeah, they contacted me. They wanted bills. I have the letter here.
That's the bills that people have been sending to you?
Yes.
How many have you received right now?
I've gotten emails.
Yes.
I'm totaling around 600.
Okay, 600 at the moment.
Yeah, 600.
Okay.
But the Competition Authority, and that's why it was so warped, what they're asking me, that I get the bills from March 2017 to date.
Yes, that's correct. I'm reading that here.
And what and I'm going to answer it today. What I was asking myself, they know the person who gave out the bills. They are a regulator. They don't want to go to Kenya Power and Lighting. But be it as it may, I'm going to give them a few that I've gotten, because one of the issues that people have complained about, those bills, they don't send them. Then they ambush you with one bill. Some of the issues are you don't get the bills.
And you're not talking about just one incident or two. You're talking about reports you've had from many of the people that have sent you those emails.
Exactly. Let me talk about myself.
Okay, go ahead.
In December, I received 3 bills, and I have them here. I can show you. 3 bills. Different. And when I paid...
To the same account?
Same account. When I paid, then another one came. And I said, but I've just paid this electricity. And to illustrate this, it is important that you see the dates of these bills, and then you will believe me. This bill was sent on 19th of
18th of December.
18th of December, is that right? This bill is on
17th of December.
7th of December.
Oh, 7th rather. Sorry,
December.
I beg your pardon.
Yes. This one is
4th of December.
Of December. Look at it. This one is 9,000.
That's correct. That's right.
This one is
2,143.
Yes. Same month. And this one is
3,900.
Same month. Explain to me. Is it not addressed to me?
It's not me to explain.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, can you see it?
No, I'm just saying, yes.
Yes.
Actually, yes.
They are all addressed to me.
My name. Same, and the address is the same.
So, this characterizes what other viewers are talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Dennis Otieno did 2 reports. He did one yesterday. I don't know if we have... Do we have the latest report that he did yesterday? Last night, of course, where CS Keter took time to explain exactly what happened. Let's listen in.
Kenyans were last evening left a frustrated lot following the massive power failure that lasted for more than 6 hours.
Nare, hakuna wengi. Watu watembei usiku na nare hivyo. Juni ngori.
Kupotea hivyo ikaathiri kikazi, lakini tumefunga saa 3 sasa hivi saa 3.
A situation that prompted the man at the helm of the energy sector to visit Kenya Power's National Control Center to establish the cause of the blackout.
The problem which when it was isolated, was between Thika road substation and here. There was a breakage of one of the conductors, causing a short circuit.
The hitch resulted in the loss of 250 megawatts of power at a go, hence the outage.
It's a very crucial line because it is bringing all the power from geothermal.
Keter says the government is currently building a new power line from Olkaria to Mombasa, which will help stabilize power supply in a month's time.
In the next about 5 weeks, we should have completed the cabling within the national park, and that will really allows a lot of stability in terms of the power.
Interestingly, the outage incidences appears to be following a familiar script. The country has reported power blackouts over the last 3 years, all in the month of January, 2 falling on the same date. A power outage hit Kenya on 9th of January last year. The same had occurred on January 7th, 2016. Meanwhile, two opposition legislators in the Energy Committee want Kenya Power to come clean on high electricity power charges.
So that we launch an investigation and find out the irregularities that all of us expect is happening in Kenya Power.
The committee has also accused the Energy Regulatory Commission, ERC, for having a simplistic view in dealing with the matter.
So there is no way, no logical explanation why you should tell Kenyans that you are going to charge the low consumers the same rate as you're charging the high consumers of power.
Dennis Otieno, Citizen TV.
Right, thank you, Dennis, for that report. Apollo, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to what those lawmakers had to say yesterday.
Yes,
just your thoughts on the questions they raised.
Yeah, the questions they raised, actually, most of them, they picked the issues that I've been articulating. And I'm looking forward when they come back from 15th that week to make some presentation before that committee. But the most important issue is that there is a big heist happening at Kenya Power, and
that's what you believe.
I believe so, and I have a lot of information that can back up my contestation, and that is why I'm so confident about the class action.
But every time Kenya Power have press conferences, they say that it's not that, and they've tried to explain. You still don't buy into what they are putting forth as their case.
Their press conferences are denials. For example, they put the CS in a very awkward position, and in fact, if I'm the CS, I should not have addressed that press conference, because the CS actually denied that. Now, you've seen a letter that they have written to Competition Authority and copied me. They are admitting that
there's a problem.
There's a problem. And now, because they have
are you sure it's the same problem that you think is, because they might admit there's a problem, but they might, to them the problem could be different from the one you perceive.
Very well. And that is why I'm saying one of the prayers that I've asked for is a system, financial and operational audit of Kenya Power. Then it will settle all issues.
Okay.
Yes.
Before we wind up and let you go, the MD also spoke a bit about the exporting of power to Uganda. How will the consumer benefit and the impact on their bills? Let's listen in again. This was an interview conducted this morning by Charles Odhiambo on our Power Breakfast show.
Revenues that are generated coming out of that, then it helps in bringing down the ultimate cost of power that is passed on to the consumers. Because we, as a distributor, for example, when we collect revenues from our customers, we have to pay those who generate, be it geothermal, hydros, and so in this case it is KenGen and the IPPs. Of course, as and when we sell out power, then whatever is collected is used to defray the cost of generation.
All right, so we've tried to bring you snippets of that interview just in case you did not catch it earlier this morning on our Power Breakfast show. Apollo, I can give you a chance now to give your closing remarks, even as we let you go.
Yes, my closing remarks is this. It is very clear now that Kenya Power has been abusing their dominance. It is very clear that consumers have been fleeced.
Okay, you say abusing their dominance. In this letter,
they're denying.
They're denying that,
yes.
and then very strongly at that. But nevertheless, okay.
Yeah.
So
because of course there is a monopoly. It has a monopoly. So I don't know. They don't.
You don't see it any other way.
Yes.
Okay. Carry on.
And then lastly, the continued monopoly of Kenya Power is contrary to the Constitution. And which section of the Constitution? The 4th schedule to the Constitution on the functions, the distribution of function between national and county governments. Paragraph 8 of that schedule provides that gas and electricity regulation and even pricing
is a county function.
I
think the question that our viewers must be asking is, if I have an inflated bill, a bill that I am so sure is inflated, what is going to happen regarding that? Will I suffer disruption in my supply because of that? And it's not you who can answer this. The MD probably would be. And if I've already paid an inflated bill,
exactly,
is there any chance I've seen a lot of Kenyans asking you that on social media.
Yes.
And I don't know if you want to comment as even.
Yes, I want to comment on that because that is what the letter did not talk about.
Okay.
Having admitted that there is a problem, the letter should have gone further and say, okay, now that you've realized there's a problem, okay, people who have overpaid and who you have fleeced, are you returning the money to them, or are you deeming that they have paid in advance?
Well, he says they say there's a help desk. Maybe those are...
Nobody has seen those help desks.
You haven't seen the help desk?
I haven't seen the help desk. Ask any Kenyan. If they have seen the help desk, they'll tell you where the help desks are.
Okay, I think we will send a team today to go and look out. Apollo Mboya, thank you so much for finding time to be here with us early this morning just to